This is an alarm system out of a 25-year-old motorhome. It was causing a sort of a drain down of the battery, an abnormal drain down, that is to say, and my mate had trouble trying to find out what was causing the problem. He chopped it out of the system and sent it off to me, and all his problems were solved by getting rid of this. So what is wrong with it? I've removed all the casings from the boards so that I can have a little closer look at them, and just out of interest really, there's 3 relays that I could possibly use for something else sometime or another, so they'll go in the boffin box. A couple of little PIC controllers that I talked about earlier, various little capacitors and stuff, might just come in handy for parts. The most interesting thing from my point of view was the way these boards are piggybacked onto the motherboard. It's sort of like a little right angled connector block just down there. And over there and there and there. I've never seen them before, and find it quite interesting. I think that's about it really for that board. There's nothing really looks damaged or anything, so put that to one side for parts. We'll have a look at the next board. This is the transmitter receiver for the alarm system, so if there's an intruder, this thing will beep an alarm out, and we'll come to where that's picked up in a moment. So if we have a look at this board, again pretty clean, another PIC controller, that's a 24C, a little EEPROM by the look of it, and well, if there's anything useful on this board I'd be surprised, but you know, other than little titchy components and stuff, yeah, it's a practice board for me. Let's bring the last board in. Oh no, it's not the last board, it's the second from last, which is the little remote control. Now this is the one where you've got a push button control to switch it on and off, and it's got its own power source, which is a small battery. If that battery's got anything left in it, I'd be surprised. Doesn't seem any way to take the battery out, but perhaps it never was intended for that. We picked up on the corrosion on this little board, which is sort of all over the place. But when you turn it over, oh God, look at it. It's absolutely awful, and this would never work. Oh God. Oh well, win some, lose some, but if you really had to restore something like this and you had a circuit diagram so you knew what all the components were and stuff, it probably doable. Interestingly, yeah, probably doable. What we're going to look at next is the power supply which powers this board, and this is it. Now this would have been permanently connected to the system. Oh, yeah, one point I'd like to make before we go any further. The interesting thing about this board. The intruder alarm will actually send a signal to the remote control on this little speaker there. And so this would hear that, you'd hear that beeping. You know, you tend to think of remote controls of only being one way, but it's a two-way street here. There's another interesting little piece, and it's this little board here. Goes round, a little bit of copper track, seems to go nowhere, terminates at two ends, and that's the aerial. I found that quite interesting. Alright, that's about it. Now going back to the power supply, or I should say the battery charger. Let's move that into the screen a bit. There's some obvious signs of corrosion on the top, around there. The connectors, some of them had actually corroded away. That one was probably the best one. This one sort of on the verge of breaking up, and these have broken, these two contacts there. Now we turn it over. You can see corrosion all the way along as you come along here. The worst area is around here. And you've got to bear in mind that this is the battery charger. It would have been coupled to the vehicle battery and on all the time, and any sort of excess current due to the sort of corrosion would cause the battery to sort of drain down, probably unexpectedly. There, oh dear. I'm just seeing if there's any sort of heat damage or anything around there. Yeah. Oh, there's something funny there. Around here there seems to sort of a bit burnt out. Looks a little wee bit burnt out. I wonder what it looks like on the other side of the board. See if I can see any sort of stain coming through. No. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. So my guess it's this little board that was the major problem, and of course the remote control gave up the ghost a long time ago. Right. That's today's little bit of electronic junk over and done with. This is the Metro alarm system remote control, and you may see that I've cleaned off all the corrosion so that we can get a better look at it and see if there's anything we can do. Now it looks pretty good if we sort of turn it over, but there are problems. I still think that this was the root cause of the problem, and I'll try to explain why that is. This is the connector that where it sits in the cradle to the battery charger, and these are the respective pins that it touches against, two of which have actually, cables have actually fallen off because they were so corroded, and so were the springs. So the red one goes to this outside one here, white to there, that one to there, and this end one to here. Now I'll move that over. As you can see, these pins are heavily corroded due to electrolytic action. This one has had virtually pristine. This one has had the plating removed off of it. This one, this plating's gone and there's a slight bit of corrosion on it, and this one is heavily eroded. and that has all happened while it's been sitting in the cradle of the battery charger. I think the problem with the drain down current is definitely due to this remote control in combination with the battery charger. In combination, you can see that the sort of that these two must have been passing some form of current for them to have corroded, and I think that is what caused the battery drain down. We can't prove it, but physically these are the only symptoms that I can find on the whole of the Metro alarm system. It looks fairly clean, and you think that with a little bit of resoldering here and there that you could repair this thing. But from this pin here, there's a track that runs along there to the on off switch, and there's a break in the track right at that point, round about there. I know this because I tried to buzz out to work out whether the switch is working or not. The switch isn't working, by the way. I'm not sure that the buzzer is still intact. I don't think the battery works. There's lots of things that are wrong with it. And there's a host of corrosion around this point, or there was. Flipping it over, this little microcontroller was absolutely covered in corrosion, although it hasn't eaten through any of the pins, or not visible, and perhaps I think a degree of resoldering, you could probably recover all of these things, perhaps take out all the components and resolder them again where you have to. This alarm system is 25 years old. It's never going back into the motorhome it came out of, so why did I bother cleaning it up? Well, just practice. I don't get that much chance to have a go at liquid damaged PCBs, and this is a sort of a good sort of entry into trying my hand at it. There's nothing else to add. That's it, guys. I'm going to get on to some real work now.